It is Monday, March 11th, 2019, and you're listening or possibly watching live on YouTube to episode 121 of Rochester's #1 sports podcast, The Tan and J-Man Show. So if you're listening on SoundCloud, iTunes, TuneIn Radio, Google Play, Spotify, we appreciate it. And if you're watching on YouTube, we appreciate that as well.
It is my favorite week of the year, championship week.
Championship week. It's NFL free agency.
Good
week.
A lot of good stuff going on.
Good time
this
to be
week.
a sports fan. But frustrating so far to be a Broncos fan and a Dolphins fan because they're, depending on who you ask, I guess, because they are quiet.
I love it, man.
Inactivity.
Love it.
Inactivity. But yes, and episode 121 is sponsored, like it is every week, by Frauenfelder Dental Clinic, a great family-owned dental clinic that offers laser whitening and dentistry along with braces, implants, and your typical teeth cleanings. Go see Dr. Bill or Dr. DJ today for all of your dental needs. Like them on Facebook and check out their website, stayoftheartsmile.com.
Got some birdie bogey for you.
Got some birdie bogey for me.
So it's an NCAA tournament question, of course.
It's not NBA for once.
It's not NBA, no. So this question, I saw, I forget where I saw it at. I think it was on Twitter.
On the Twitter.
Yes, on the Twitter sphere.
On the Twitter.
But there have only been 8 times in NCAA history that the number 1 overall seed and the number 2 overall seed have played in the national championship game. Can you name the last time it's happened?
Number 1 and 2 overall seed.
Yes.
Wow. I'm glad I get the whole show to think about that one.
And as always, Birdie Bogey is sponsored by Noble Gnome LLC, fresh, locally grown, nutrient-dense produce from Bryce and Katie Romine.
You got it right.
Yeah, and check out their website. The Noble, where is it at?
It's not on there.
Oh, it's not on there. Okay.
The NobleGnomeLLC.com. You can also like them on Facebook and follow.
That was easy
Instagram.
enough. I should have probably been able to figure that one out.
That's all right. That's all right. Moving right along, now we got the On This Day segment. And I'm not going to lie, there hasn't been a lot to happen.
Hopefully there's some like Big Ten tournament news. Of course, that wouldn't be a national thing, but hopefully there's some NCAA tournament news from On This Day.
There hasn't been a ton to happen on March 11th throughout sports history, but the On This Day segment is brought to you by Spot On and John Mars. If your business takes credit cards, then you should call John and let Spot On take care of your needs. Low rates, transparent pricing, free processing equipment, no special fees, no contracts, and John as your customer service representative. Time to be treated like you should, no matter your size. Call John at 574-835-1528 for a free quote today. Make your business run spot on.
Spot on.
Spot on. All right. On this day in 1892, just a couple years ago, the first public basketball game was played in Springfield, Massachusetts.
Massachusetts.
Don't make fun of my pronunciation.
Who was it between?
It doesn't say.
Oh, just the first.
It just says first public basketball game.
Did they use peach baskets then?
I'm guessing so.
Yeah, it would make sense.
I mean,
basketball hasn't been around long at all.
It really hasn't. I mean, 1896. Well, really, baseball
was like 1876, 1860s, maybe.
Yeah. And actually, this Friday is the anniversary of the first professional baseball team, which was the Cincinnati Redlegs. It was like in the 1870 something.
They haven't changed their name. It's crazy.
Red Stockings, I believe they were actually called originally.
Close enough to their name now.
Yeah. But there's a lot of conference tournament action, a lot of ACC, a lot of Duke Carolinas, really. So, but here's a good one for you, Josh. On this day in 1979, Randy Hold receives 67 minutes in penalties in a 60-minute NHL hockey game.
That's classic.
I have a lot of questions.
Yeah. How
and what did he do to get 67 minutes worth of penalties? His penalty minutes were longer than the duration of the game.
I think he was just being a nincompoop.
What did he do? Wow, that's pretty mind-blowing. I'm going to have to go and do some more research on that one. On this day in 1981, Johnny Mize and Rube Foster were elected to the Baseball Hall of Fame.
I've heard of Johnny Mize.
I can honestly say I've never heard either one of them.
Johnny Mize is a legend, man.
On this day in 1987, Wayne Gretzky scored his 1,500th NHL point.
It's a lot,
quite a few
man.
points.
Yeah.
And a year earlier than that, on this day in 1986, the NFL adopted the instant replay rule.
What year?
1986.
86?
86.
But challenges didn't come into effect until much later on, correct?
Correct. This day in 1997, San Francisco Giant JT Snow suffers a fractured eye socket when hit by a pitch.
Ouch.
That doesn't sound like it felt very good.
JT Snow, I mean, he was a good hitter, but he was most known for grabbing old Dusty Baker's son. I forget what his name was.
The little 3-year-old was out there in harm's way in the World Series.
He's playing at Cal now, baseball. Yeah.
Okay, that's really, besides SEC, ACC, and Big East tournaments, that's all we got.
It's kind of a slow time.
I mean, we'll have a bunch probably next week.
Yeah, in the week after. I wonder how much will be on there during like baseball season. I bet quite a few.
Yeah, that's a good question. We shall see.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we got a bunch of basketball to talk about, particularly Big Ten. But before we do that, let's hit on the NFL. The legal tampering period started today, and if you can name a free agent, they probably already have a destination in line to where they're going.
Some of these contracts have me bamboozled. Landon Collins, $84 million.
That's a lot of cash.
Yeah, Nick Foles, $88 million. So I have to come clean.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I know, because I can't say these words without laughing. So the owner and proprietor of Noble Gnome LLC shared this thing on Facebook. It was, I don't know how many words. There's like 12 words on here that are the greatest words of all time. And I'm going to try to use every single one of them in a sentence today. So we'll see, because it's been a struggle.
He was supposed to wait till the end of the episode.
Yeah, I know.
With everybody,
but I have not been able to just not laugh. I mean, I've already used bamboozled and nincompoop, and it's been a struggle so far. So
I've kept a pretty straight face.
I know I'm having a hard time, because these words really aren't that hard to pronounce or anything. Just they're kind of fun words to say.
They are very fun words to say. They're words.
They've got me flabbergasted though. There's number 3.
There's definitely they're definitely not words you say every single day.
Yeah.
But
and I'm trying not to go all cattywampus on you guys. So,
okay, that one got me. That one broke me a little bit. Cattywampus.
Cattywampus.
All right. Let's reel it in back. Let's reel it in a little bit and start getting back to NFL free agency talk. You said Landon Collins, big deal. Nick Foles, 40 or $88 million, 50 of it guaranteed to the Jacksonville Jaguars. What do you make of that?
It's something. I mean, Foles really made this money off of what? 5 good postseason starts. Because remember,
they're pretty big games though.
Huge games, obviously. Yeah, obviously winning the Super Bowl. But I mean, his regular season starts kind of left much to be desired, but he went out there and played really well in the postseason the past 2 years with Carson Wentz being out. So 88 mils, quite the risk, but I think obviously they think he can take them to a level Blake Bortles could not.
BB5. Where's he going to end up?
Oh, man. I think he ends up as a backup somewhere. I can't see him starting.
I honestly don't think there's any starting spots available.
I don't think there is either.
That's why I don't know where he's going to go. I don't know where your boy Ryan Tannehill's going to end up.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting.
It is, because, I mean, at least Tannehill is a starting quality quarterback. I am the leader of the Blake Bortles is not very good bandwagon and should not be a starter, so I don't have many good things to say about him. But, I mean, you look at spots, I can't imagine the Giants would go and sign one of those guys, because I think Eli Manning's just not a good quarterback. Hasn't been for 4 years now. I think they draft one. They could draft like a Dwayne Haskins early, but I just don't see him signing one of those guys. Redskins were another possibility until Case Keenum was traded there last week. So
that will go official Wednesday.
Yes.
All this stuff.
So it'll be interesting to see where they end up. Maybe go to a team whose quarterback struggled last year, kind of like Kirk Cousins did in Minnesota, or maybe an injury-prone quarterback. I can't even think of any. Tennessee, maybe, because Mariota's always hurt.
That's true. They were interested in Keenum, so that could be a spot. I could see that. Let's see here. Who else was on the move. We'll talk about the biggest one here in a minute that happened over the weekend. But who else today? Old man Frank Gore signs a 1-year deal with the Bills.
You had a stat about them having the old running back room.
They have 3 of the oldest 5 running backs in the league. Him, LaShawn McCoy, and Chris Ivory. They're all 30 or older.
Yeah, I don't know how that's going to work. I mean, Shady still fairly productive, but he's kind of had some injury issues. Frank Gore's rock solid. I mean, he's old, but
he's been good for years.
And he never really got hurt. I mean, he missed his first career games this year. I think it was like the final 2 or 3 weeks.
Is he a Hall of Famer?
I think he's a lock.
I think he's a Hall of Famer.
Maybe not a first ballot guy, but he'll definitely get in.
Be wearing a gold jacket.
I 100% agree. Go in as a Indianapolis Colt, right?
Probably San Francisco 49er.
Definitely a San Francisco 49er.
Let's see. What else? Who else? T-Sizzle. Trill Suggs going to be playing out in the desert where he played his college ball at Arizona State. He'll be captain of that defense for good old Vance Joseph. VJ.
You know, he was he's old. He's not super old. I mean, he's 36 or whatever. Been in the league for 16 years. Still fairly productive. I'm not sure what his numbers actually were last year, but I mean, he was still good enough to throw out there. He's more of like a third down pass rush specialist at this stage in his career, but really not much downside because he's a guy that'll get you a few sacks, and he seems to be a really good leader for that defense. And it's a young roster out there. I think they'll have a new quarterback. So
your hero, Eric Weddle, because he's got a great beard.
Oh man, he is my hero.
To the LA Rams for 2 years.
Yeah, his beard is my goal. I mean, yeah. So I think that's great for that defense. They played really well in the Super Bowl.
I was fully prepared for the Broncos to make a run, which I guess they kicked the tires, but just, I don't know, not enough interest. But I was fully prepared to start liking the guy I absolutely hated when he was on the Chargers.
Yeah,
meant to be.
He's an old man, great leader. He'll fit in perfectly with that defense. Is he a Hall of Famer?
I would say no. But
I would I would lean towards that as well.
I'm not saying this just because I'm a Bronco fan, but Steve Atwater was a pretty good safety.
Right. They're similar.
Yeah. Hard hitters.
Yeah.
Weddle's probably a little better in coverage.
Yeah. Weddle goes old school without the gloves.
Yes.
That's what I like about him.
Raiders, they've made the big splashes, 2 big splashes on free agency. Now they don't have any money because they thought they were going to be in for Le'Veon Bell, but they literally don't have enough money. But first off, they made the biggest NFL move in the offseason. Everybody's wondering, where is Antonio Brown going to go? Well, business is going to be booming in Oakland. Mr. Big Chest, as he wants to be called, goes to Oakland for what was it? 4th round?
It was a 3rd and a 5th.
3rd and a 5th. 3rd and a 5th. Unbelievable.
That's one of the – I mean, this is one of the biggest off-season moves I can remember in the past maybe 5 years. I'm not really sure off the top of my head. But, yeah, for a 3rd and a 5th, this dude has been the best and most productive receiver in the NFL over the past, I don't know, 6-7 years since he's been in the league.
I got 2 questions for you.
Let's hear them.
I got a couple questions, but 2 kind of factoids. Since 2010, Antonio Brown's 2nd in the league with 72 touchdown receptions. Who's first?
Since 2010.
Who's first?
Touchdown receptions. Man, can I wait till the end of the show?
Sure. And the other one is Antonio Brown's got 6 seasons straight of at least 1,200 yards. Oakland hadn't had a receiver get 1,200 yards since who?
Jerry Rice in 2003.
Yep.
I mean, that's 15 years ago.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. Now, will he be out there pulling shenanigans, kind of like he did in Pittsburgh at the end of his run there?
I think he was going to pull shenanigans wherever he goes.
Yeah.
I hate the Raiders. Hate them. I mean, they're my least favorite team, but great move by them. But it'll be interesting to see if he can have the same production out in Oakland with a young quarterback, Derek Carr. He doesn't have that Hall of Fame quarterback of Big Ben anymore. Doesn't have that decoy or solid number 2 of Juju Smith-Schuster.
He had 1,400 yards receiving last year.
Doesn't have a great running back like Bell, and doesn't have a solid – Oakland's line's okay. They improved it today.
Yeah.
But they don't have – I mean, Pittsburgh's line every year is good.
Oh, yeah.
So is he going to have the same production when he's the main focus out there? He's got Jordy Nelson.
Oh, man, old man Jordy.
No Amari Cooper. They traded him last year. No Jared Cook. He's free agent. It'll be interesting. I mean, could he be a Randy Moss 2.0?
Could be. I mean, Randy really went out there and struggled. Of course, Derek Carr's better than any quarterback they were throwing out then.
Carson Palmer wasn't bad.
Was he there with Palmer? Palmer would have been in Cincinnati or
was
maybe at USC.
They didn't overlap at all?
No, Moss went out to Oakland. He was only there 2 years.
Yeah.
And it was like 2004 to 2006 maybe. And Palmer didn't go to Oakland until like 2009 or 10. Because remember, Moss was in New England when they went undefeated in the regular season in 2007.
I remember that.
And Palmer was still with Cincinnati in 2010 when I went to a game there. So.
Yeah, you're right. He played for the Raiders in 05-06.
See who his quarterbacks were.
Well, this could be, let's see, just Raiders quarterbacks 05-06.
Yeah. They did not have good ones. Now, am I a huge believer in Derek Carr? I used to be, and then he broke his leg. And he really hasn't been the same since, but they have 3 first-round picks, so they could go out there and draft a wide receiver early. I think they need to put somebody on the other side of Antonio Brown.
Wow.
Pretty bad.
Kerry Collins started 15 games in 05, and Marcus Sopo, or whatever his name is, from Washington University, started a game. Then in 2006, you have the legend of Andrew Walter started half of the season.
At Arizona State.
Aaron Brooks, the second half.
Aaron Brooks, I remember Aaron Brooks. He's pretty good in New Orleans.
Then after Randy left, Josh McCown started 9 games, Cole Pepper 6, and Jamarcus Russell 1.
Good Lord. Yeah, he had some bad situations out there. This is a lot better for Brown, but as he said, they don't have another receiver. As I said, they will, I assume, draft one early. But is Marshawn Lynch going to be back? I haven't heard a word about him.
Today they sound like he's going to be. I thought he retired.
And of course, they signed Trent Brown from New England. He's only 25.
4 years, $66 million deal for left tackle.
Yeah, it's the richest contract ever for an offensive lineman.
That probably means Donald Penn's going to get released.
Yeah, he's old, isn't he?
It'll be an $8 million cap hit, yeah. But, oh, gosh, John Elway will probably go sign him. He loves signing the Oakland Raider cast-offs, and then they come to Denver 1 year, and then Denver cuts them and owes them a bunch of money.
If the NFL does not agree to have Hard Knocks in Oakland, I will be sorely disappointed. They might wait.
I really think they're going to wait till they go to Vegas, man.
They could do that, but, man, there's so many storylines out there with Gruden and Mayock, now Antonio Brown out there.
Well, they better not do them back-to-back years, or they're going to lose my interest.
I can't imagine they do it back-to-back, but we're kind of running out of teams that haven't done it that would be interesting because the other options are not interesting at all.
Yeah, I don't know. They capitalized when the Rams went to L.A. I just see them waiting until the Raiders go to Vegas.
The Lions have made some moves. Trey Flowers, who was on a lot of – he was number one on a lot of people's free agent board from New England, went to play for his former defensive coordinator, Matt Patricia.
I didn't put that connection together.
Yeah, Dolphins released Danny Amendola. He goes and signs with
Stafford needs another target.
Detroit Lions. I mean, he's a solid – middle of the field kind of guy. Obviously has a ton of injury risk.
Jesse James.
Jesse James,
solid tight end.
Big tight end out of Penn State who played for Pittsburgh. So they're making some moves for old Matty Stafford out there.
Any guys that come to your mind that the Dolphins want to target or to target that are available still?
They signed Dwayne Allen. It's obviously not official yet. Actually, is it official? Because they sure showed him. They showed a picture of him signing his contract, so I don't know if it could be technically official till Wednesday.
Antonio Brown's got the Raider logo already up on his graphic on ESPN.
Yeah, but they signed him. Great. He's probably the best blocking tight end in the NFL. Only caught 3 balls last year, though. He's a really solid dude, it seems like, good leader. So he's really the only guy so far that I've heard. I did hear a rumor about them possibly targeting Tyrod Taylor, which I think he's almost too good of a placeholder. If they really want to tank, which I don't think. Obviously, the coaches and the players aren't going to go out there and try to lose games. But if you're putting together a roster to potentially have a top 3 pick or so in next year's draft, I think Tyrod Taylor will get you to 6-10, 7-9. You'll be back stuck where you have been. But he's the only other guy. I think Dolphin beat writer said today, this is so much different than the last regime. They're trying to win in April and not in March like they have tried in years past and hasn't worked for them. So switching it up, and I love it.
Like you told me before we started recording this podcast, win in April, not March.
Yep. That's exactly what I just said.
Yeah. Wow. Sorry about that.
It's all right.
What can you tell me about Juwan James?
Juwan James, he's a guy I really want the Dolphins to sign back.
He's one that's rumored that Denver's interested.
Yeah,
but he might cost too much money.
Oh yeah, he'll be expensive. He might get Trent Brown money. He shouldn't. But he's solid right tackle. He really hasn't played on the left. He's a guy drafted in the first round out of Tennessee back in 2014, I want to say, or it might have been 2015. And I was really upset about it because he was like a projected late second, early third round pick and thought they reached. He's been really solid. He missed 6 games 2 years ago, so he has a little bit of an injury risk. But Laramie Tunsil loves him. They're boys. I think the Dolphins really like him, but it might cost too much money. But he's only 25 years old, so could be worth the risk. So it'll be interesting.
You know, the Colts and Bears, speaking locally here, bro, they've been quiet.
I will go on record and say the Bears signed Le'Veon Bell.
I have not heard them as interested.
I heard a rumor from a Chicago guy today. I don't know if it was true, but it made me think, they could.
They have to get rid of Howard first.
Well, I think they're shopping him, and it's kind of been the rumor. He hasn't really been used well.
So I heard Raiders, of course, they're supposedly out. Ravens, Jets.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting. That'd be hilarious if it drags on to like August, because he's being.
I'm still saying he hasn't taken a hit over here.
Yeah. I would, if I was in his shoes, I'd want to get paid too. But when you haven't played in a year, do you really deserve that much money?
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah. Besides that, the one guy I think I would be shocked if the Broncos don't get, if he wants to come, there's Adrian Amos, starting safety for the Bears, knows Vic Fangio's defense. Back to the Colts, though, they needed some defensive help.
Oh, yeah.
I thought they might make a splash with some guys today, and it didn't happen.
Yeah, there rumor about Justin Houston possibly.
I forgot he's available now.
He has major injury risks. He's been injured, but very productive, and he's on the older side, so he might not cost too much money for him out there, but he'd be a good fit. They run they're kind of multiple, but 3-4.
There's so many good players still available that aren't even getting publicized by, and of course, I'm a big Bronco fan, so I know what Bronco guys are available for people. Shane Ray's not too bad, and he might. I'd be shocked if he doesn't go to the Chiefs, to be honest. Shaq Barrett.
Shane Ray can slide right into Justin Houston's spot.
Brandon Marshall. Guys like that who can fill in other places would be pretty good.
Read about Brandon Marshall today. He said that there's 5 teams that are seriously interested.
I bet the Cardinals are one of them.
Think so?
I think Vance Joseph still loves his boys.
I'm sure.
Took 5 assistants with him from Denver. I think he's trying to take some guys. So
he took 5 assistants with him from Denver. He's not even a head coach.
Yeah, they let him bring 5. So it'll be interesting to see what happens
strategy, Cotton.
No, NFL free agency has begun. Trades and everything become official on Wednesday when the new season starts. So
fun stuff.
But like you mentioned at the start of the podcast, it's your favorite week of the year, one of your favorite weeks of the year. It's conference tourney time.
I love the small conference win or go home championship
We didn't see that many of those over the weekend, though.
It seems like a lot of them are this week.
Did not do well.
Yeah, they did not do well. A guy like Chris Clemens at Campbell, he's leading scorer.
Have fun in NIT.
Yeah, leading scorer in college basketball this year. They lost in the semifinal. We do get to see John Morant. Yeah. He beat Belmont over the weekend, and Belmont was the one, I believe. But it'll be fun to watch John Morant. He's a projected top 3 pick right now out of Murray State.
What seed do you think Murray State ends up with?
I'm going to go with 11. I think they were at 12 last year. I forget who they lost to. I think they were at 12 anyway. But I think they're on that 11 seed line. I could even see them as high as a 10. But they'll be tough, man. Ja averaging like 24 points a game, 10 assists, leading the nation in assists. Going to be a lottery pick, early lottery pick. So,
yeah, this weekend was really the first I watched of them, and I didn't even watch a ton of them.
The Atlantic Sun game was great yesterday between Liberty and Lipscomb. We watched Lipscomb live last season, and they had a lot of their same guys back. Do you remember that 6'5" guard they had, Garrison Matthews, I think his name was? He was there still. They had one of their big guys still there. So they were a really good team, but they lost to Liberty. And Liberty is in, and I think Liberty, I think they were the 2 seed in that conference, and Lipscomb was the 1. But Liberty hasn't been in since, I think, 2009 or 10.
Lipscomb is of the next 4 out in Joe Lenardi's bracket.
So they're out. I mean,
yeah,
it's not very fun for those kind of teams. I saw a stat from 2010 to 2014. There was like 25 non or mid majors per se that got in as an at large. Since 2014, there's only been like 9. So I don't know if the committee is just kind of being more sticklers and giving props to the bigger conferences, but I think it's a bunch of malarkey. I'll tell you that much.
Check another one off the list of words. How many do you got to go?
I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Still got quite a few.
You know what kind of bread I hate? Pumpernickel.
Oh, nice easy way out there.
Well, when am I going to use pumpernickel in a sentence?
I don't know.
I could have been more creative, but
I'm just happy he took on this challenge. This is the hardest he's worked on an episode in a long time.
And if I would not have told you guys, I would not be able to get. I would not have been able to get through this show because for some reason that was the funniest thing. Cracked myself up. So,
Big Ten regular season is over.
Over.
The champions are Michigan State Spartans and Purdue Boilermakers in a tie.
Yeah.
If you would have told me before the year that Purdue was going to win the Big Ten, I would have thought you're nuts. My goal was for them to get in the tournament.
If I would have told you that on January 1st.
That's true. Or after they started 6-5 and lost in the Crossroad Classics to Notre Dame. But, before the season, I was just hoping to make a tournament, and I think I projected them anywhere from a 5 or 6 seed to a 10 seed, anywhere in between there. And if they win Friday, I think they're safe to be a 3.
Yeah.
They could maybe get a 2 if they win the Big Ten tournament and get help from some other teams and have to beat one of the Michigan schools along the way, at least one of them, if not both of them. But, yeah, it's just what a season. Matt Painter won his 4th Big Ten Coach of the Year award today. That ties Bo Ryan, and he's only behind Bob Knight and Gene Katie for that, which is pretty neat. But man, it's been a fun season. But it's all almost to the point where anything here on out's icing on the cake because they've already overachieved, in my opinion, so much. I mean, this was supposed to be a rebuilding year for Purdue, even though they had one of the best scores in the nation, and they just got done. Sure, I mean, their schedule helped them out a little bit, but you got to play who's on their schedule. The Big Ten controls that.
Well, Ryan Klein had an 8-point points per game jump. Yeah, improvement.
Yeah.
So, and that helps.
They had some other guys. I mean,
Matt Harms played great, really, from the middle of January on. I mean, Nojel Eastern got better throughout the year. Even a guy like Travion Williams that didn't do anything for first
saw Grady Eifert.
And Grady Eifert, out there. I mean, we used to call him Hustle Dork, but he's still the hustle guy, but he's actually productive, unlike Zach McRoberts.
Yes, he is. And so it's been a fun year. I lost my train of thought. I had a good stat about Purdue on the tip of my tongue, but
what are some of your concerns heading towards the Big Ten tournament?
Well, I think you got to be a little concerned about Carson Edwards. I mean, he's still putting up 20 points per game or so, 23 points per game, but he's not shooting it well, especially away from Mackey Arena. And they're not playing at Mackey. The rest of the games is United Center and then wherever you get shipped out in the NCAA tournament. So he's got to just let the game come to him. Once he gets his teammates involved, gets some assists going, that's when Purdue's really good. But, of course, he's not going to change the way he plays. Carson's Carson. He's scorer first. That's just what makes him unique. But, yeah, that worries me. I mean are
you concerned about their depth at all?
No, I think they got good depth.
Think so?
Yeah.
I mean, they went a few games without having bench points.
That wasn't depth problem. That was just a problem of productivity.
Well, that's depth.
But as far as numbers, I mean, some guys play 7 to 8 guys.
Right.
Purdue can go 10 deep.
Yeah, but, I mean, they're not overly productive off the bench is what I'm saying.
They did have 2 bad games. I don't see that happening too much, but I could be wrong. You got to keep Travion Williams out of foul trouble. That's what – I mean, he's a lot of their bench points usually, and when he's getting 3 or 4 fouls in 3 or 4 minutes, that's cause of concern. But – no, I'm not real too concerned about that. I'm not concerned about them on defense. I mean, they play pretty hard night in, night out. It just comes down to shot making, really. We'll see.
They are a little probably out. Would you say they're outside shooting oriented mainly?
Yeah. They led the Big Ten in three-pointers made this year.
Does that concern you, dogs? They have one bad night in the NCAA tournament, you're done.
Saw it last year against Texas Tech.
Yeah.
They went cold. Dakota Mathias at 5 points.
Texas Tech was a real bad matchup because they're linked, especially for Mathias.
And
but
without Isaac
yeah.
Haas.
Yeah, that didn't help.
No.
And now because of Isaac Haas, we have the stupid hook and hold rule.
That's
his clumsy butt had to go break his elbow.
You can actually thank the Cal State Fullerton kid for that when they're down 20 points. But I don't like that rule. But yeah, it's just been a really fun season for Purdue. Hopefully they can keep it going. Can you name me the 3 coaches in the Big Ten that have won a Big Ten conference title or regular season title? There's only 3.
There's only 3. Well, I mean, you got Izzo and Painter. Conference title or
tournament title.
Beeline.
Yep, those are 3.
Yeah.
3 active ones.
And Beeline didn't win one until 2 years ago, and now he's won 2 in a row.
Mata retired, Bo Ryan retired, and Crean got fired.
And Bruce Weber got fired.
Yep. So pretty crazy.
It is crazy.
Yeah.
I can't see one of those 3 not winning it this year.
Well, I ran a poll on our Instagram account yesterday, which if you're not following us, go follow us on Instagram at the Tan and J Man Show, I believe.
With a V.
Yeah, with the and that's exactly what I asked. I asked if we thought, or if anybody thought the top 3 seeds were going to win. And let me see what it came out to. Wow, there was 13 votes on Instagram. 7 said no, 6 said yes. So more people don't think Michigan State, or Purdue are going to win. Than
wonder if they were all Indiana fans.
Well, I'm looking. No, a few Indianas, but they're all fans of other Big Ten teams.
Wow.
So,
yeah. Any Iowa fans out there?
No.
Penn State?
No.
Minnesota?
No. Not that I know of, at least. But let's talk about Big Ten awards before we talk about Big Ten awards came out tonight. Cassius Winston was the player of the year. We both agreed with that. I have no problem with that. That's what we thought it was going to be. Defensive player of the year was Reeves.
Josh Reeves.
Josh Reeves from Penn State. I got no problem with that.
No,
I thought it might be Bruno or Xavier
He's
Simpson.
super athletic.
I had no problem with that. All Big Ten first team. There was actually 6 guys, and my team was 5 of them. So the only one I didn't have was Jordan Murphy.
He was media, and Stevens was coaches.
I had Lamar Stevens. I had Ethan Happ. I had Carson Edwards, Cassius Winston, and Bruno Fernando. So freshman of the year was Iggy
Brazdakis.
I thought Romeo would get it, but Iggy definitely deserves it.
Oh, yeah. Iggy by far was the best freshman in the league this year.
All freshman team.
Had Io DeSumo, Iggy Brazdakis, Romeo Langford, Jalen Smith, and Connor, or is it not Connor? Joe Wieskamp.
Yep. All defense with no Joe Easter, Matt McQuaid.
I did, however, going back to the all freshmen, there were some Illinois fans causing a kerfuffle about Georgie P not making the all freshman team, but I think he was probably one of the 2 guys that probably deserved it but didn't.
Yeah. Who else was on the defense? Bruno Fernando,
Josh Reeves, Eastern,
McQuaid,
and Simpson.
Simpson was the one I could think of. Matt Painter was coach of the year, like we said. 6th man of the year was Xavier Tillman.
Yeah.
So I can't
really argue. You can't argue with any of them.
You can argue with the second team.
Yeah, Romeo Langford being on coaches say. I mean, I'm gonna make Indiana fans mad. I mean, honestly, I like Romeo Langford. I think he's a really good player.
Seems like a good kid.
But he wasn't the best player on his own roster. It should have been Juwan Morgan over Romeo.
He got 3rd
on the second.
Team media. Didn't get 13 coaches. Juwan Morgan didn't even make 13 coaches.
Really?
He made 13 media.
For some reason, I thought he was 2nd team coaches.
I don't think he was.
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe he was. Maybe he was 13 media.
Any other Purdue guys make like honorable mention?
Oh, that may be honorable mention, but
I saw Trent Frazier, and Io DeSumo made honorable mention, but.
Yeah, I didn't think any of the rest would.
Not gonna cause a big brouhaha.
Make any of the things. Carson Edwards did get named third team All-American by the Sporting News today. 15 guys get named that. Cassius Winston was 1st team. Happ was 2nd team.
Oh no.
Yeah. They said free throws get over it or something about his description. Blah, blah, blah.
I don't think he was that productive this year anyway.
So I was kind of surprised to see Carson named that, but that was first back-to-back All-American of any sort Purdue's had since Glenn Robinson, of course. So I don't really have any problems with the Big Ten awards overall. Big Ten tournament. Field set. It starts tip-offs Wednesday night in the United Center. You got number 11 seed Illinois against 14 seed Northwestern, Josh's favorite game, and 12 seed Penn State. No, not Penn State. 12 seeded Rutgers against
Nebraska.
13 seed Nebraska. Trying to picture it in my head.
I'm getting all too familiar with my team playing on Wednesday of the Big Ten.
My team's got a double bye every year.
Every year, yeah. Oh my God! But preview you in the game a little bit. Illinois, they just got whooped from the start against Indiana.
Yeah, that was buzzsaw.
Indiana's playing really good basketball right now, really for the past 2 weeks.
Wisconsin had a chance. And
so did Michigan State.
Especially Wisconsin had a
yeah.
Put a nail in the
and Illinois just didn't play good defense. I mean, they gave up 92 points to a bad offense. I knew Illinois was not going to win in Penn State, but they had the lead at half, played really well, but then came out the second half discombobulated. They were kind of lollygagging around. Honestly, I'm not just saying those two words because they're on my list. It was actually true. They did not play good. Trent Frazier only shot the ball twice. He's been banged up since the Ohio State game about a month ago. He went knee to knee and has not been the same guy. He's been beat off the dribble. Rob Fantasy killed him on Thursday nights.
He's been the difference maker for Indiana now. When he's on the floor and playing well, they play well.
Yeah. Frazier was the best shooter in the Big Ten for like a month coming into that Ohio State game, got hurt and has not shot the ball well at all. Georgie B's been struggling with a severe sinus infection where he's having trouble breathing, so he hasn't been nearly as efficient.
Sounds like to me you're ready for him to lose and just get seen over.
Yo, man, I'm 100% okay with them losing.
Even it's the Northwestern.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be great if they won a game or two and kind of took that into the offseason, but I don't see it happening. I think they go and lose Northwestern and skedaddle out of the Big Ten tournament. Done. Not even halfway through, and I'm done with those words.
So you like Northwestern to win?
I do. 68-64.
I'm picking Illinois.
Yeah.
Going with Illinois, and then who do you like, Rutgers or Nebraska?
Rutgers hasn't played nearly as good here the past. It's kind of like Illinois. They've had a good stretch, but then kind of ran out of gas. But actually, you know what? I'm picking Nebraska just for the heck of it.
Look at the momentum they have coming off yesterday's epic comeback against Iowa, down 7 with about 46 seconds left, and Nebraska scored 16 points in the final 50 seconds of regulation.
I mean, your defense has to be special bad to give up 90-plus to just god-awful Nebraska offense.
They were hitting everything.
Yeah.
But that happens sometimes, especially on senior day. I like Nebraska to beat Rutgers.
I agree, 100%.
And let's look at the Thursday matchups then. You got a huge 8-9 game. Huge NCAA implications. It's pretty much, in my opinion, winners in, losers out. Indiana, Ohio State, Caleb Wesson is back.
This will be the J-Man's Book It prediction of the week. The winner of this game makes the NCAA tournament. The loser does not. Kind of what Tanner just said. Now, I will say, I think if Indiana loses, they still have a better shot to make the NCAA tournament than should Ohio State lose.
I would agree with that.
I think Ohio State's just butt right now, to be honest. I just think they're a terrible basketball team.
The weird thing that Ohio State's got going for it, even though they're not the greatest teams, they got a road win against Cincinnati and a road win against Creighton.
That's huge.
Indiana has a road win against Michigan State, and that's it.
Yes, both of those wins for Ohio State were extremely early.
Yeah.
But, I mean.
So was Indiana's against Marquette.
Right.
And Indiana's against Louisville, who's not playing well
Not playing great right now. I mean, Ohio State just screams NIT to me. I mean, they have some good wins. I mean, a lot of them were early.
Losing 12 of 13 games doesn't scream NIT.
See, that's the thing. But, I mean, they banked enough wins to where they put themselves in the spot.
They're playing a lot better right now.
Even though they're, 16-13 right now, maybe 17-13? 13 or 14.
And 4 games under 500 in the conference.
Yeah, which conference record doesn't mean anything anymore. I mean, it's been like this for a while now, and you need to get You need to get used to it there, T-Dog.
I don't like these new metrics. They're just in the last few years.
They're the
last
exact.
few years,
They're
I
the
just don't
exact
like-
same metrics
I
as
don't
they
even
have
like-
been. The
I'm
net.
so sick of hearing about the quads. Quad 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't
right.
care.
I'm gonna educate you.
I don't want to get
the
educated.
quad system.
I know how
So-
it works. I just don't like it.
They use this net rating, which is a little different than RPI, but essentially it's the same measuring stick.
Can I say something about RPI real quick?
Do it.
There is still an RPI thing. They just don't use it.
Right.
Indiana would be the lowest RPI ever to make the NCAA tournament.
Interesting. See, he's bringing
Like
some knowledge.
86 or something like that.
Wow.
Yeah.
So this quad thing, if you win a home game against teams number 1 through number 30 in the net ranking, that's a quad 1 win. If you win in a neutral site from number 1 to number 50, it's a quad 1 win. If you went on the road from 1 to I think 75, it's a quad 1 win. So there's your quad system.
I know how it works. I'm just so
I
sick
mean,
of hearing about it.
But we saw this with the RPI. They listed all their RPI top 50 wins on their resume. I mean, it's the exact same thing. They just use quad now instead. Same thing.
I guess I'm thankful I haven't had to worry about the bubble for
Yeah.
a while.
The only times Illinois is halfway decent, I'm usually not sweating on Selection Sunday because they usually break your heart and are not even going to be there. But yeah, you've been lucky here the past couple years.
Anyways, who do you like, Ohio State or Indiana?
Give me Indiana by like 15. I just think Ohio State is a bad basketball team. They'll be playing in the United team.
I like Indiana. They'll beat Ohio State and somehow, unbelievably, in my opinion, squeak into the tournament.
It's
2
going to
weeks
be
ago,
unbelievable.
I thought there was no chance.
Now, I will say if they beat Ohio State, lose to Michigan State, and then you have schools like Buffalo not win their conference tourney, Gonzaga not win their conference tourney, Wofford not win their conference tourney, I think they're still going to be sweating it out majorly on Selection Sunday.
Yep. Okay, and then since I had Nebraska win. Do you have Nebraska?
I had Nebraska.
So they would play Wisconsin, correct?
Yeah, Maryland. Wisconsin got a 4.
So the 5-12.
Give me Maryland. I mean, Maryland beat Minnesota on Friday. It was at home. I think they handle Nebraska fairly easily.
Yep, I like Maryland as well. I think they are a team that could do some damage in this Big Ten.
Oh yeah, because I think if they were to beat or if they were to win their first game, I think they roll past Wisconsin, at least play on Saturday.
I like that. I like them over Wisconsin. So, okay, let's go down. Penn State, Minnesota winner plays Purdue.
Give me Penn State. They've won 7 of 10. I think Minnesota's in pretty easy now, but it wouldn't hurt for them to win another one. So
no, neither of these teams shoot the ball very well.
No,
three. With that said, I think Penn State's more capable of winning back-to-back tournament games than Minnesota.
I agree.
I want to see Minnesota as a Purdue fan. I think even though they just beat Purdue last week, it was a pretty close game up in on the senior night. I think Purdue's got a better chance to. I think Purdue can definitely beat both of them. They beat Penn State twice, but Penn State battled them both times. So I want to see Minnesota, but I think Penn State will beat Minnesota. And then Iowa, I got them against Illinois. You have them against Northwestern.
I think regardless of who wins that Wednesday game, I think Iowa beats them and moves on.
I think Iowa does beat Illinois, but in a close game. Iowa's lost 4 straight. I don't like their mojo right now. I don't like their momentum. But I think they have too many weapons for Illinois when it's all said and done.
And they just waxed Illinois back in January.
So, and then that sets up round 3, Michigan State, Indiana. Is there any way Indiana beats Michigan State for a third time?
No shot. They will not let that happen. Nick Ward's back for Michigan State. Michigan State wins by double digits. And we could have all avoided this Indiana discussion had the number 9 team in the country not lost both games to this mediocre Indiana team.
And I'm still thankful Matt Harms made that tip in, or Indiana's probably in right
Easy.
now.
Yeah.
I do like Michigan State over Indiana as well. But I'll tell you, if IU wins that Michigan State game, look out. They might win the Big Ten tournament.
They might, yeah.
And according to their boards yesterday after the Rutgers game,
imagine.
They had some fans honestly think they are going to win the Big Ten tournament, be a 5 seed.
Classic.
Pigs. All right, then we already did Maryland, Wisconsin, so we both have Maryland and Michigan State in the semis. Well, Purdue, Penn State.
Man, that'd be a close one in my opinion.
They played last year in the semis.
Yeah, I'm tempted to pick Penn State with the way they've been playing, but I think Purdue's just too good and makes too many shots and advances.
I think Purdue will beat them in a close game. I think the extra day of rest just helps. It's hard to play back-to-back days in a tournament. Home crowd's going to help, even though Purdue doesn't always play very well in the United Center. I think they do beat Penn State.
I will say if Illinois does win, I think they at least – well, I picked Iowa to beat them should they advance, but they're tough to game plan for on short rest. So should they beat Northwestern and then beat Iowa, it'll be tough for Michigan to kind of prepare for them. It'll be tough for Iowa to prepare for them as well.
Michigan, Iowa.
Give me Michigan.
I like Michigan as well. It wouldn't shock me. It wouldn't shock me to see Iowa get on a run and win this thing. They have that much talent, but they just aren't playing very well right now, especially on defense.
They're due to win a few games.
But give me Michigan. Maryland, Michigan State.
Man, I think that'll be a close one, but give me Michigan State. They've, besides the Indiana game, they've played really well. I mean, they've really blown out Michigan twice. Playing good basketball right now.
I'm going to probably regret this because this will be 3 days in a row, but give me Maryland. Something about that team, and I do not like Michigan State, but yeah, I like Maryland. And then Purdue, Michigan.
Man, this has been a matchup for the past
nightmare.
Seems like 10 years in the Big Ten tournament, and Michigan's had their number, and I think they get her done again.
I agree. I want another chance to play them.
Oh, of course, yeah.
But yeah, I think Michigan beats Purdue yet again, and just Beeline thorn to my side.
Yeah, Beeline's had their number, at least in the Big Ten tournament.
Big Ten tournament, not so much in regular season. Then you have Michigan State round 3.
Man, can Michigan win 3 in a row?
Michigan State.
No, I'm saying Michigan win 3 Big Ten tournaments in a row. I think
State beat them 3 times in the same year.
That's a tough one. But give me Sparty. They roll. You know what? If they win the Big Ten tournament, do they get a 1 seed depending on what happens?
Depending on what happens.
Like if Zion Williamson doesn't come back and Duke gets beat early in the ACC tourney.
I think Duke's a 2 seed unless they win it.
You think so?
Unless they win it, because Carolina's a 1 seed right now. So is Virginia.
And I don't see Gonzaga losing.
No.
Who's the other one? Is it Kentucky?
Yeah.
And they just got whooped by Tennessee last weekend. So it'll be interesting. They could easily be on that 1 seed line
after
turned
around and lost to Auburn.
Yes, they did. So, but as much as Izzo was riding his team all year after losses, this might end up being one of his better teams ever.
I got Maryland, Michigan in the finals all day. I was ready to pick Maryland. Then I figured out that's 4 days in a row. I'm taking Michigan.
Yeah, it's tough.
Taking Michigan with 3 Big Ten tournaments in a row.
Yep.
So how much do you think conference tournaments can do for improving your seed?
Oh, huge.
I do too. I've read online. Some people don't think so. But I'm like, Michigan last year jumped clear from a 5 seed to a 3 seed by winning the tournament.
And that year they won in DC, they were looking at playing on the 10 seed line, and they bumped up to a 7 and about dang near. I think it was a 7, might have been a 3 or a 6. But I mean, they about almost made the Final Four that year. So it's huge, especially who you beat. I mean, if Purdue beats Minnesota, who's going to be a tourney team, then Michigan, who's, one of the best teams in the country, and then beats Michigan State, they could very well be looking at 2 seed line, which would be unbelievable.
Absolutely. Other conference tournaments, do you see Butler or Notre Dame making any sort of run?
No. I think
Notre Dame plays tomorrow against Georgia Tech. Their season could be
Notre Dame finished last. They were 14th.
I know Butler finished last in the Big East.
Yeah, both had forgettable years, and I don't see them.
Notre Dame was injured. They lost Pfluger.
Yeah, but he's like a 10-point. It shouldn't be. I don't think they would have been a tourney team with him. So
I am checking if Notre Dame.
Who wins the ACC tournament? Because that's
Notre
always
Dame 15th.
So is there 15 teams or 16?
15.
Wow, so
they've lost 7 games in a row.
Man, yeah, they
went 3-15 in the ACC.
Oh, 3 wins. That's it, man.
They tied Pittsburgh for the worst conference record.
Wow, Wake Forest had a better one.
4-14.
Georgia Tech had a better one.
6-12. Wow. Boston College and Miami were 5-13. Then you go up to the bubble teams of Clemson 9-9, NC State 9-9.
The ACC tournament is probably my second favorite tournament to watch. It's a basketball school, much like the Big Ten is, in my opinion. Yep. You have the good teams like Carolina, Duke, Virginia.
Who wins the ACC? Carolina, in my opinion.
I was going to pick them as well. I mean, Virginia only has
the way
2
they're playing.
losses this year, and it's to Duke. They say Zion Williamson's going to be back, but I can't imagine him coming back from injury and playing 3 in a row.
Might re-injure himself.
Exactly.
Unfortunately, don't mean that bad.
I have heard a conspiracy that Coach K is only doing this to try to
keep your opponents on their toes.
Well, and try to keep a 1 seed should he,
it's not dumb.
No, it's not dumb at all. But give me Carolina. Big East.
Ooh, your boys, Marquette, they're on the 4th.
Yeah, they're struggling. They controlled their own destiny for the Big East title, and Villanova ended up scooping.
Nova right now is projected to be about 5 or 6 seed. Actually, they're projected in a lot of regions to be in the same region as Purdue, which would be kind of scary. But I'm trying to think who else is even decent in the Big. I don't want to go with either of those teams. I'm going to pick somebody else, but I'm going to. I think
Seton Hall makes the tourney now after.
I think they're a lock. Let me see. I got to even see who else was decent in the Big East this year.
It's not going to be DePaul.
I'm going to go way, way out. Georgetown. They finished 3rd in the Big East.
Did they really?
They tied Seton Hall and Creighton and Xavier. They all tied 9-9.
Creighton on a lot of bracketologists' board, I've seen them as one of the last 4 in or next 4 in.
St. John's went 20-11, but 8-10 in conference.
Yeah, but they might have saved themselves by beating.
Right now, they're one of the last 4 buys. So. Give me Patrick Ewing or Patrick Chewin.
Patrick Chewin.
The Hoyas.
Give me Marquette. They get hot and go on a roll again.
You have to take them. You've talked them up.
I'll go on record right now. I mean, we did this last week with Final Four picks, but I'm putting Texas Tech in my Final Four. I love Chris Beard ways.
Are they your pick to win the Big 12 tournament?
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, finally, Kansas doesn't win a Big 12 title. I still don't trust Bruce Weber in Kansas State. Give me Texas Tech and the boys.
Brucey and the boys that I thought were my boys, but it was West Virginia who was just trash this year. West Virginia finished 10th out of 10 teams in the Big 12.
Oh, man.
4-14 conference play.
That's brutal.
I'm taking Kansas.
Okay.
To win the Big 12.
I mean, it's in like Oklahoma City every year or something like, or Kansas City every year, so it's pretty close. Who else Texas needs to start winning or they're not going to make the tournament. I mean, they're much like Indiana to where their record does not look good, but they have so many quality wins early in the year.
Oklahoma's right there.
It puts them in the convo, but their best player is out for suspension, so I can't imagine they
Baylor's right there.
Yeah, Baylor's right there.
TCU's
kind of – yeah, they're one of the –
kind of right there with Indiana.
Probably 4 buys or last 4 in. So
Pac-12.
Oh, man, that conference is just
pretty
trash.
Much is it Washington or Arizona State?
Give me Washington.
Or you can go out on a real limb, pick like Utah, Colorado, or Oregon.
You know what?
Oregon State, they're 18-12.
I'm going to go on record. I've said to go on record a bunch tonight.
Yes, you have.
But I'm picking Oregon. I changed my pick to Oregon. They get in. Washington gets it. See, is that a one-bid league?
Nope. I think Washington's in. And so if somebody
as
else
an
wins,
at-large,
that can be a steal.
So that'd be a steal, yeah.
I think Washington gets it done, though. I think they're the only team that represents the SEC. I picked LSU to go to Final Four last week. Then Will Wade gets definitely suspended for cheating.
They're holding out one of their better players because of that whole scandal now.
I'd like a redo. Who do you like in the SEC? This could be a fun tournament.
Oh, yeah, that'll be fun. I mean, you have really good teams, but give me Kentucky. I like Tennessee as well, but I just think Kentucky wins her.
Did you know Vanderbilt went 0-18 in conference play?
They had some injury issues, but that's probably not
9-22.
That's not ideal.
Tom Crean had 2-16.
Yeah, he's gonna have to be patient out there.
Oh boy, he does have the number 2 player in the nation coming in next year.
Will he turn him around right away? Who knows?
Can't hurt. Yeah. I'm gonna go Kentucky as well. I hate agreeing with you so much, but
I have a lot of smart takes.
I'm going to go Kentucky as well. And then how about the AAC?
Who's in the AAC?
Well, it's probably Houston, Cincinnati, or UCF.
God,
Houston rolled Cincinnati.
On the road
in
Cincinnati.
See the rant Cincinnati's coach did after the game?
Mick Cronin has some good rants,
awesome.
Man.
Did you see it?
I did not see it, no.
He said he was going to go ask Coach Fickle, if he had any football players that could come out for basketball. And he goes, I'm not joking. This isn't supposed to be funny. He goes, just because these guys are on scholarship doesn't mean they have to fly with me to the next game. He goes, I am taking players that are going to box out. I mean, he said they should be embarrassed because I am.
Hilarious.
He says at home. Houston.
Give Give me Houston. They've been playing really good all year. UCF got them, but I think Temple's in now because they beat Central Florida. So that could be a 4-bid league.
I like Houston as well, but UCF would be my second choice.
Yep.
One team I'm surprised not better this year, but I think they will be in the coming years, UConn. They've struggled.
What's his first name? Is it Dan? Or is he the one out in no, Bobby's out in Arizona. Dan Hurley's the
There's no way Greg Marshall pulls some magic out of his rear and gets Wichita State in, does he?
They about lost to 4-26 Tulane.
They're also going 18 in the conference.
had to hit a buzzer beater to win down in Louisiana.
Yep.
Nolans.
Yep.
But no, I do not think he can do it.
We'll go over one more conference, just one more to close it out. A10.
A10, okay. Give me Richmond. Are they in the A10?
They're an 11th seed. They're 12 and 18 on the year.
Never mind. I'm not picking Richmond. Who won that conference?
VCU, 25 and 6.
You haven't heard about VCU at all. Who finished second?
Davidson.
They're pretty good usually.
Dayton 3rd, St. Bonaventure 4th, George Mason 5th, Duquesne 6th, St. Louis 7th, Rhode Island 8th, LaSalle 9, St. Joe's 10, Richmond 11, UMass 12, George Washington 13, and Fordham 14.
I'm not picking Davidson because Purdue beat him. So give me a Virginia Commonwealth, I guess. Maybe Dayton can sneak in there again.
I'll pick Davidson. Just
be funny
Purdue beat them,
if Dayton made it and Indiana does not.
Would be slapping the face to Archie, wouldn't it? It could be bad. It's gonna be bad off season for the Miller family, anyways.
Shawnee's gone. Matt Painter's gonna go out there to Tucson.
I hope not. I really hope not. So, anything else going into the big conference tourney week and weekend?
Seems like I did have something else, but I'm kind of drawing a blank. There's nothing really going on baseball wise right now. Season starts in 2 weeks.
I will say I tried to watch 10 minutes of the Pacers-Sixers game yesterday on ABC. I just cannot watch them.
No, man.
I tried. I like basketball. It's just I don't like the product of the NBA.
No, I
don't like the presentation. The announcers are boring.
No.
The crowd, it's a regular season game, so the crowd's not into it.
The players are almost too good where it's just not even fun to watch. People love it, though, which I have never understood.
Pacers had tied their lowest scoring quarter of the year in the third quarter. I think they either had 12 or 14 points and ended up getting whooped just because that quarter was so bad. Because they were up 14 at one point at Philly. Joel Embiid had 30 points in his return to action after a month. So not good for the Pacers. This next 9 games is going to solidify if they're a 3 seed, 4 seed, 5 seed, and so on.
One thing we forgot to do, the J-Man's Booker Prediction of the Week, as always, is sponsored by Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance Agent Travis watching. Here's a little message from Travis himself.
And one thing I want to mention right before we do Birdie Bogey was there was some teams brought some new rules proposed on the table for the NFL. One of them was proposed by the Denver Broncos. They want to start eliminating onside kicks. They propose that you get one time in the fourth quarter, I believe. I should have the rule up because I'm going to botch this really bad. But instead of onside kicking, you get the ball on your own 35, and it's a 4th and 15. And if you pick it up, good to go. If not, the other team gets the ball right there.
Yeah, if they wouldn't have proposed, I'm sure somebody else would have. But that's a good.
It's kind of like the AAF does.
Yeah,
just a little bit different.
Because onside kicks, the success rate was at an all-time low. They need to change it up, and I think 4th and 15 is perfect because the success rate's higher than an onside kick, but it's still pretty low.
You do it one time in the fourth quarter. I see nothing wrong with that.
I think you can do it as much as you want in the fourth quarter, can't you? After scores, if you're losing anyway.
Yeah.
Watch a team try to change the game and do it when they're winning to try to completely end it. So
the Redskins proposed every play be able to be under review.
Yeah, I think they should do that. I don't think it's going to happen, though.
And then the Chiefs proposed something that probably should have been written in the original rules when they started overtime. Even if a touchdown scored, whether it's regular season or playoffs, the other team gets a chance with the ball.
And I think that will happen. I mean, especially, you can't have maybe the best quarterback in football and Patrick Mahomes not get the ball and have a chance to go down and tie.
Yep. I like the way college is. And the problem with the NFL would make the game a little longer and you might have more ties. But
I think you go tell you till somebody wins.
Yeah, you have to. Well,
I can't.
yeah, let them have the ball on 25-yard line then, or 35-yard line, because you got to shorten up the field.
Maybe 50.
Yeah, or something. But yeah. All right, hit me up with Birdie Bogey one more time.
There have only been 8 teams since the NCAA tournament has been a thing that the number 1 and number 2 overall seeds have met in the national championship game. Who was the last, or when was the last time it happened?
I'm going to take a shot. Probably going to be wrong. But 07, Ohio State, Florida.
Wrong. That's a good guess, though.
Man, it's hard for me to think back and even remember who was number 1 and 2 overall seeds. I'm going to take a bogey on this one.
Illinois, North Carolina, 2005.
I wasn't even thinking that far ago. Man, I wonder what Ohio State was, because they were 1 seed. I wonder what Florida. I wonder what their overall seeds were.
In Memphis, Kansas, too, were number 1 seeds. Because I think that was the first year all number 1 seeds made it to the Final Four was the Memphis, Kansas brouhaha.
Should have guessed it. Did you get all your words?
Oh, yeah, man.
Good job. That's
like 30 minutes ago.
Get a round of applause there. So
Thank you.
I should have guessed that was darn Illinois trivia, but
I usually don't like to throw trivia out for my own team.
I was just glad it wasn't the NBA related, and it still threw me off. I was researching yesterday. NFL was with free agency. I was ready for something Antonio Brown related.
We are getting to the point where it's going to be essentially all NBA related here until
might as well start
June.
Start chalking up the bogeys for Tan Man.
Might have to throw in a little bit of birdies and bogeys with golf.
Masters time. Oh, Players Championships this weekend. I'm glad you brought that up. The 5th major.
That's why I'm here.
Yeah, I don't really have a good feel for who's going to win. I mean, that's the 5th major. Tiger is on the grounds this week. I guess he's going to play. He's going to play 9 holes today and decide who's going to play this weekend or not. He doesn't play good there. But
where's it at?
TBC Sawgrass, Island Green. 17.
Yeah.
They moved it up from May. It's usually played in May. So I don't really have a prediction, but it's going to be a fun one to watch along with the conference tournaments this weekend. So, and that'll do it for episode 121 of the Tan and J-Man Show. Thank you for everybody who watched on YouTube. Really appreciate it. Thank you to everybody who's listened and subscribed on SoundCloud, iTunes, TuneIn Radio, Google Play, Spotify. Please leave us a rating and review on iTunes. That helps us a lot, helps us compete and move up with some other sports podcasts. So we appreciate that. You can also leave us a rating and review on Facebook. Appreciate that as well. And like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and follow us on Instagram if you haven't already. And with that, we will see you next Monday, same time, 6:30 on YouTube.
Same bat time, same bat channel.
For episode 122 of the Tan and J-Man Show. Have a great week, everybody.